Alright guys, so today I'm bringing you my Hardest Vocals FCs in list form in the Hero series. Read the full description, how I picked these songs, and why I didn't include DLC in the mix. To kick things off, we have Frantic by Metallica at number 10, obviously from Guitar Hero Metallica. When I was making this top 10 list, I had 9 spots ready to go, and for the 10th spot, I had kind of a little bit of trouble deciding on what should be in. I had a couple songs ready to kind of fill that spot up, but they didn't really seem to earn that top 10 spot. So I started looking through Metallica's set list, and I saw this song, and bad memories just started rushing back to me of how bad this was to grind. So I ended up going with this song. It's very awkward, to sum it up. Very awkward to sing. I definitely don't like this chart at all. And it just took me a long time, a noticeably long time to get it over other Metallica songs. Especially these phrases right here just gave me the worst time. Alright, coming in at number 9 from DJ Hero 2, we have Put On vs. Enuff. Now this was originally tied for first on my top 10 hardest DJ Hero 2 songs list. But due to the fact that after you learn basically the hardest part of the song, it becomes almost second nature to you. It's very easy to at least -1 or even 100% it, even just after a couple of runs. But don't get me wrong, this was still an insanely hard grinding session for me. It took forever to learn all the pitches toward the end, basically all of Kanye's part. It fits musically, I guess, with the song, but it doesn't fit well with your ears, let's just say. And it's still easily one of the hardest FCs I've ever gotten. But if you ever wanted to go for this, just listening to my reference video, this easily makes this like 1,000 times easier than it is. So at number 8, we have another Metallica song, Hit the Lights. This chart is just a complete mess. It's not a lot of phrases in it, but the phrases that are there just have a lot of movement in them, and they're short, and they're just very awkward to sing. Just a complete mess to sing, and it just takes a little bit of luck to even just hit some of this stuff. It doesn't really matter how much time you spend in practice mode trying to get the phrases down. You just never really get that consistent with them. It just really takes a little bit of luck to hit it all in one run. And I'm kind of surprised how hard this ended up being and how it actually ended up on this list, but it actually did. So just goes to show you how much you can underestimate stuff sometimes. And taking up the number 7 spot, we have Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind from good old Guitar Hero Van Halen. Now this was originally number 1 on my top 10 hardest Van Halen list. It actually ended up going to number 2 by the number 5 spot on this list, which we'll get to in a little bit. But regardless, this was still an insane FC to get. The key word here is variety. This song has so much variety in it. It just takes a long time to learn everything in practice mode. Especially this section right here is easily the hardest part of the song. Just so much movement. The phrases aren't super short, but they're short enough to where they will easily get you a solid instead of an excellent. And the range is decently big, I guess you can say, for a song like this. So you're definitely going to have some trouble with this one if you ever want to go for the FC. Just so many chokeable spots in this one. At number 6, we have Informer versus ABC from DJ02. This is actually easily one of the, if not the worst chart in DJ02 for vocals, due to the fact that it's, I guess in a way, undercharted, because you can clearly hear pitches in the verses, and they chart them as talkies and rappies, which I'm not sure why they did that. But also, ironically, the hard parts of this song aren't necessarily coming from ABC, but rather Informer, due to the phrase "a licky boom boom down," which repeats itself throughout the choruses of the song over and over. It's very hard to combo. Due to the fact that you have to hit every word in the song to FC the song in DJ02, it almost requires you to take the first word of that phrase up an octave, which is what I definitely had to do, just so you'll be able to hold combo a little bit easier. And even then, it's just so easy to choke and miss on. It really just takes a little bit of luck to hit it all in one run. It's definitely one of the hardest FCs in DJ Hero 2. Alright, and that brings us to the top 5. Starting up at number 5, we have Beautiful Girls by Van Halen, obviously from Guitar Hero Van Halen. This was the song that overtook Semi-Charmed Life for hardest song in that game. I decided to give it to this because the verses are just... yeah, the verses are pretty LOL what. I can't believe how fast I ended up getting this one, but I definitely could not FC this again for quite a while. That's for sure. The verses have just so much movement in them. They're not even necessarily short. There's just literally movement is the hard part of this song. And just lots of chokeable spots throughout pre-choruses and stuff like that, if that's what you call them. Really the only easy part is like literally right at the end, I guess the outro, what you would call it. So you have to go through all this mess just to get to the easy part. Just a really tricky Van Halen song. Kung Fu Fighting from Band Hero takes the number 4 spot. I don't know what the deal is with this song chart, whatever. I spent so much time practicing, especially when we were going for the full fantasy of this, and I'm still not that consistent on it. I guess that's how you know you have a hard song here, when you just spent so much time practicing it and you still just aren't consistent at it at all. So there you go. Verses are hard, the choruses are kind of hard, there's scattered hard phrases throughout toward the end. It's just really a choke fest anywhere. This just really is a hard song to FC. And I even ended up choking the third to last phrase when we were going for the full band FC of this, and they were not happy about that at all. Now, I tried keeping ties off this list as much as I could, but literally nobody could help me break the tie on this number 2 spot, so I ended up giving it to 2 songs. First one is Get Your Freak On versus Twist 'Em Out. Similar format to put on. The first half is piss easy, but then literally the last minute or so is one huge choke spot. This one was even a bigger choke spot than put on by a long shot. It's mostly talkies, a few scattered pitches, but the talkie sections are just brutal in this song. It's so fast. The beat and the rhythm and the flow of what you have to kind of enunciate and accent on with your voice is just completely irregular. It's just so hard to fake your way through this song. Hardest song in DJ Hero 2 by far. Alright, also tied for number 2, Good Old Stone Cold Crazy from Guitar Hero Metallica. Obviously the hardest song from that game still. What's there to say about this one? You should obviously know why this one is so high on the list. Phrases are insane on this one. So much movement. So much movement. Third verse, I guess is what you'd call it. Easily the hardest part of the song. Some of the hardest phrases I've ever seen in any vocal song ever. And I've still only FC'd this, I think, once. I haven't tried re-FC'ing it though, so. Just an insane FC overall. And that brings us to our number 1 spot. Wow, what a shocker, huh, guys? Can't believe I put this one up as number 1. I've already shared my hatred and frustration with this song enough. I have even less to say about this one. All I'm going to say is I still want to find and shank the charter of this song, because they made this unbelievably difficult. Just because I want to separate 2 words away from the phrase just to make it its own phrase. Best of luck to anyone ever going for this FC, and if you have FC'd it, my hat's off to you. This was just absolutely brutal to this very day, and I still can't believe I full ban FC'd this one. And that pretty much covers the list. Thanks for watching.